Remember, guys, that every appointment comes with a test. You've been appointed or selected to be a manager. They will test you. Supervisor, they will test you. Any appointment, even on a 3D, it will first of all come with a test. And you have to pass the test. If you fail the test, then they're going to choose someone else. And the same principle applies with being a chosen one. So if you find out that you're a chosen one, then eventually you're going to have to prepare for some tests because you are going to be tested by God. You are going to be tested by the universe. This video will specifically go out to the chosen ones. There will be some ultimate tests that you'll have to go through. And I may break down some of them in other videos. But in this particular video, I'm going to talk about the isolation. Now, you might have been used to being around people, running into people, spending some time with people back in the days, in your early days of your evolution, early years of your evolution. That was pretty much your routine as a chosen one, okay? You was used to visiting family members, you used to visit some of your friends, spend some time with your cousins. That was different. Somewhere along your journey, you will be chosen to awaken. And when you awaken, you realize that you're going through some form of isolation. You can talk to all the chosen ones you know. They are going to describe to you they have gone through some isolation period. One thing to note as a chosen one, when that isolation is happening, don't fight it. Let me repeat this one more time. When the isolation starts to happen, do not fight it. Don't go out there trying to look for the old friends you used to meet. Don't try to go look for your cousins. Don't try to go look for people. You will notice that sometimes there is people who are a little bit gravitating away from you, okay? They're no longer calling you the same way they used to. They're no longer coming around for Christmas. They're no longer coming around for your birthday. They're pretty much quiet. Nothing is happening. Your phone is not ringing and you're thinking, what exactly is going on? Why does it seem like you're being pushed in a corner to isolate? When you go through this process and period of awakening, like I've always told you guys, you go through a lot of transformations, physical, emotional, energetic, spiritual transformations are happening, okay? You are upgrading. And at the same time, you're doing a lot of healing and cleansing, okay? So normally what really happens is that the higher you vibrate, it's like you're going to notice that you are no longer connecting with the old friends and folks that you used to back in the days. So things are starting to change. Some people are usually gravitating away consciously, some of them even sometimes unconsciously, because there is this energy around you now that is different and they can no longer recognize. That's the reason why some people, you see them all of a sudden moving very far away from you. They don't want anything to do with you, whether they know it or they don't know it. In this isolation process period, I cannot really say if it's going to be a month or two. I cannot tell you if it's going to be a year. I cannot tell you if it's going to be 2 years. I've been in isolation for a very long period of time. Everything you will try, it won't work. Sometimes you might even be homeless. You go applying for houses and they won't take you. Sometimes you may be jobless and you try to run around looking for jobs and they will not take your CVs. They will not even look at your CVs. You may sometimes decide to go out there, look for or seek for relationships. Every woman that you talk with, they're going to look the other way and they're going to go. They will not even spend a minute with you. Even if they do, you will not see them the next day. everything you try to do outside of you, it will fail. And sometimes you may lose it. You may think that you're going crazy. There's something wrong that's going on with you that you don't even understand. When the isolation was happening for me back in the days, I couldn't really figure this out. It was the early days of my journey. I was so lonely that time. I wanted some friends around. I wanted, to speak with different family members. I wanted to engage with certain people. It wouldn't work. This is the ultimate test for a chosen one. There is a direction that you're going. Before you are going to be crowned, you're going to first of all pass some very powerful tests from the universe. Can you be alone? Can you really go within? Can you try to think for yourself? Can you try to look for your own, for the answers within you, rather than looking for answers outside of you? Are you really going to try to seek for your purpose so that you can eventually find where it is you want to go? So you're going to have to go through this process whereby you're going to sit down by yourself in your basement, in your room somewhere, and everything is going to be quiet. During this isolation, that is when a lot of healing happens, because you see, you have been very deeply soaked into the matrix, and you've been pretty much dating everyone that you met along the journey, eating proper prayer, pretty much everything, clubbing and drinking and doing all these kind of things, pretty much like everybody else has been doing. But you see, during this isolation stage, that is when you're able to sit with yourself for the very first time, because you remember that you're on a journey to meet your higher self. And in that process, you're starting to use your intuition. You're starting to listen to the divine. You're starting to listen to the universe. You're starting to listen to the insights, because that is the moment when God is going to start speaking to you. And it's going to be a very silent voice. Sometimes, for you to be able to hear that voice, you have got to be sitting down in isolation. Because you see, you cannot get instructions when you're in the club. Sometimes you cannot even receive instructions when you're in some relationships, because there are some relationships that you could be actually engaged and they're not even serving you. They are not going to take you anywhere. And sometimes the universe doesn't want you to be with those individuals. That's when sometimes you're not going to get it. That's why sometimes you ask a lot of, yourself a lot of questions. How come that you cannot find your purpose? How come that whatever it is you're trying to do is failing? How come you cannot move to the next level? That is because there's usually somebody around you. And God does not want that person to be around you. So that's the reason why even God is withholding some information from you, because either way, you will get that information or instructions, you will not use it to your advantage, because there might be an energy vampire in your vicinity. Every chosen one will reach that stage and they are going to sit down in their homes. They are going to sit their ass down. They are going to stop looking for jobs. They are going to stop looking for relationships. They will not want pretty much any friends around them. Everything will be quiet. You will not hear any birds around. You will not hear anybody. Even the neighbors, you may not hear sound or noise coming from the neighbors. Everything is going to completely go still. Now, that is a very important stage of your evolution. Like I've told you, every chosen one has gone through the isolation stage. It is one of the most important stage of your evolution, because I can promise you, at the end of that isolation, some people want to call it the hermit mode. You're in hermit mode, okay? It's like you're this little embryo in the egg. You're trying to develop and not hearing anything. Everything is quiet. So you're trying to, develop yourself and do the inner work and everything. And you're trying to grow spiritually. At the end of that journey, I can promise you, it doesn't matter how long it may take. Could be months, could be years, but you will never come out the same. You're going to realize that usually during that isolation stage, period, and process, you have grown so much eternally. You have healed so much. you have learned so much, because remember that you're in isolation, but it's not like you're not doing anything. Of course, you're learning something. Maybe you may decide, if you're a reader who likes to read books, you're reading a lot of books, you're getting a lot of knowledge online, you're reading a lot of these chapters and everything. You're reading and you're reading and you're learning and you're growing in silence. So that is when normally you're going to start to listen to your higher self, okay? These insights and messages coming in from God. Sometimes you may get visions in your dreams. You may get just guidance from intuition, being driven towards a certain direction that even sometimes never taken before, or that you thought that you could take, but you was not sure if you had uh, the necessary guts to do that. Eventually, you're getting up on your feet and you're starting to move a certain direction. Even sometimes those things are not going to make a lot of sense. Isolation is the ultimate test from the universe. It has got to happen. So if you miss that part of your evolution, whereby you're going to keep on running and chasing after things, chasing after the girls, the boys, chasing after your friends, chasing after this and that, normally you're going to miss that important stage, because you cannot be able to evolve and listen to higher guidance from the universe when there is background noise around you. If that thing is happening, you have to understand, as a chosen one, that is the ultimate test from the universe. It is very necessary for your evolution. It is very necessary for your growth. The results will come in due time. Okay, so let's know what you think about this video. If you know what I'm talking about, leave us a comment, like the page, share, subscribe. You may book a session if you want to. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. All the links you need, you will find them in the description below. And until then, I will catch you guys in my next one. Denzo Moss signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.